Welcome back once again to our Breath of Fire series retrospective. In this episode, we'll shift our focus from the 16-bit SNES to the 32-bit PlayStation console with the third game in the series, Breath of Fire 3. Breath of Fire 3 was released in 1997, which was an era that had some incredibly stiff competition as far as RPGs on the console, such as Tales of Destiny, Wild Arms, Saga Frontier, and Final Fantasy VII. The plot is a bit more complex this time around. The journey is one of self-discovery more so than a good versus evil narrative. Because of this, I'm going to skip over a lot of the small details and just outline the important parts. In the opening cinematic, you learn about a mysterious war, one that has wiped out the clan of dragons, leaving their remains to decay and eventually become a form of fossil fuel. We start the game not as a blue-haired protagonist as in the prior games, but as a baby dragon awakened by a mining explosion.
Really? Like smack a dragon in the face. Oh, damn.
After slaughtering a few miners who totally had it coming, you get caught.
God damn it.
But then escape. Now is when you wake up as the blue-haired boy named Ryu. You are saved from being dinner by the game's resident cat person, Ray, who, ironically enough, has pants. You befriend Ray, as well as an orphan named Tipo. Your gang of misfits acquires some less than beneficial attention after a series of attempted robberies, muggings, and other petty thefts. This introduces Balio and Sunder, two anthropomorphic unicorn henchmen for the Syndicate, who bully and harass the main character, separating him from his friends for the second and third acts of the game. After attempting to murder the main character, the unicorn duo learn of Ryu's dragon form and attempt to present him to the King of Windia. But Ryu has reverted to human form, and everyone is imprisoned for attempting to scam the king. The kingdom's princess, Nina, attempts to free Ryu, but is tricked into releasing Balio and Sunder instead, and is promptly kidnapped, rescued, escaped, and pursued. In your travels to reach Windia again, you meet with Momo, a scientist, and Pico, a plant person. Oh, and you get kidnapped again. This time you must fight alongside your party in a glorious gladiator-style tournament in order to win your freedom. In this tournament, you face Gar, a warrior, who ultimately defeats you and takes your party as compensation. This is merely a mask, however, for Gar secretly aids you in your escape from the tournament. You, as Ryu, are taken to Angel Tower, where you are given the opportunity to learn more about your race, the Brood. Ryu comes to find that the Brood waged a holy war hundreds of years earlier, during which the goddess granted Gar power to protect the world. Breath of Fire 3 improves on several of the established formulas of the previous series, random battles being one such example, but this time they take place in the playmap, which adds to the immersion of the game. Saving this time around is mainly done using a camping system. This allows you to converse with your other party members about each plot point. There are some dragon shrines similar to those from the original game, but these are rare as it seems the religion of the dragon god has died out along with most of the dragon clan. The dragon system also returns, but this time is fleshed out to a further extent, with a collectible mix-and-match aspect of the dragon genes. You will find several dragon genes spread throughout the world, which allow Ryu to transform into several different types of dragons. One example would be the fusion gene, which is a nod to the previous game's fusion system. It allows you to merge with various members of your party, similar to the way that Karn did in the original Breath of Fire. The fishing minigame receives yet another huge upgrade, along with the Manilow Merchant, which now trades fish for rare items. Speaking of the Manilow race, many of the other races from the Breath of Fire series make a return, mostly in small NPC cameos. While a lot of the hometown locations of these races are missing, Windia is present in the game. Only a few of its citizens remain with wings, however. The fairy race from the original game also returned, this time asking you to guide them in making their own society, which is an upgrade from the township of Breath of Fire 2. Dias, the sexy snake lady, returns in this title as well, not as a party member, but one of the game's various masters who offer various skills and stat bonuses to your characters, offering some freedom of control over how each character progresses. The bosses in Breath of Fire 3 are massive and numerous, each having their own strategy and weaknesses, and perhaps even some spells you can steal, if you're lucky. This installment also pushes the minigames and puzzles to the max, which gives the game a larger scope and variety overall. There are several other continuity nods, both hinted and blatant, that show a clear timeline within the original trilogy. Again, as far as endings, I'll try to remain as spoiler-free as possible, but I feel certain aspects need to be discussed here. So we're going to call this a mild spoiler warning. If you haven't yet completed this game, I suggest you do so before watching the end of this video. Now that the children have left, your party crosses the ocean, not only to find that there are people living there, but it's the home of what's left of the Dragon Clan. While the Holy War was being waged hundreds of years ago by Gar and the other Guardians, some of the Brood decided to pass up their powers and flee to live in peace. You were taught about the history of the Brood, which includes a direct nod to the events of the first game. After acquiring the knowledge of the Brood, and meeting the Dragon God Ladon, your party sets out to cross the Desert of Death. You meet with the goddess, and learn that the Desert of Death is being held back by her, and that, out of fear, the goddess ordered the genocide of the Brood. I'd guess being defeated twice by the Dragon Clan would have justified that fear. Again, you have a few optional endings here, with only one being the true ending, complete with big flashy boss fight and credit scroll. With the goddess defeated, the world is free to evolve, but is also doomed to the spread of the Desert of Death. I feel it's worth mentioning that in this game the goddess seems much more benevolent than in the previous games, and there's a very noticeable lack of demon minions spawned by the goddess, minus the Guardians, and one boss fight. Really, essentially, had Ryu not decided to seek out the goddess, I don't think the world would have been any worse off overall. So, we leave on a somber ending. The goddess defeated, the heroes look onto the vast desert that surrounds them. The world is doomed to the spread of this desert. That's all for this installment of the Breath of Fire series retrospective. I would like to thank David K519 and Kenshin1913 for their thoughts on this title, as well as Vixen, Katsuni, and Beans from TCD for helping out with the scripting. Links below. Once again, this was Fade Dragontear, and be sure to check out the next episode where we will explore Breath of Fire 4. Thank you for watching. Peace out.